Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, to Warren's Team Talk, and I'm back. I know this is a surprise one. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this or not, but I'm delighted to say that I am going to be able to do it, and I'm going to do it next weekend as well. I'm going to be doing, I want to try and do at least one Six Nations match for the whole of this tournament, because I love this tournament. It's absolutely brilliant. And today it's Italy against France. The French are the reigning Six Nations champions, and they're up against the Italians in Rome. So it won't be a walk in the park, but I don't know. I just don't think that Italy are going to have enough to trouble the French, to be frank. The French are supposedly the #1 ranked team in the world. To be honest, I think that title is goes to Ireland, but you never know. You never know. And if Ireland catch France on an off day, and if Italy catch France on an off day, and they'll have to have a pretty bad off day, though, I have to say, to win this game. But you never know. Things happen in sport, and the Italians have to be really, really pumped up and fired up for this one. That's for sure. And it's going to be an interesting match. It really is. I think it will be a great, great day. And we got someone in the chat. It's Grant McRoberts, and he says France will batter Italy. Italy get battered every year and always get the wooden spoon. Mate, that's true. But I believe that they won in Wales last season. So you never know. It's just, I don't know, man. I just love this tournament. And I'm going to do the game that's on Sunday next week as well. So we'll see. Dan says, well. If it isn't Mr. Warren, it certainly is, mate. It certainly is. I'm doing a watch-along for the Six Nations because I love the Six Nations, mate. I just think it's brilliant. And I used to have to play rugby at school. I was a prop forward because I'm a bit of a big chap, let's put it that way. So I used to get put in the scrum, and there was a few incidents involving my good self at school with the scrum and what have you. So it was interesting. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, so today we're covering the Italy versus France game for Rome. I do think it'll be an interesting game, but I think that France will have too much for the Italians. I'd like to sit here and say, there's a chance that they could win, but I'd be lying if I was saying that. I really would. So let's wait and see what happens. But I think that France are going to batter them, to be quite honest. But I don't think it'll be an absolute annihilation like a lot of people are saying it's going to be. But you never know. You just don't know, do you? You really don't. And Dan says it's Six Nations, the one with 6 tackles, and then it's a 3 throw or something. No, that I think you're probably talking about rugby league, because back in the day, they were allowed to have a certain amount of tackles, and they had to go forward a certain amount of distance. Otherwise, they'd lose possession of the ball. So that's rugby league. This one, you're not allowed to throw the ball backwards. That's one thing. And if you, what you have to do is you have to get the ball over the opposition goal line. And if you do that, you get to do something called a try. Okay. So if you do that, and that's called a try. and you then get to have a kick at the goal to try to get a conversion. Now, I've got an interesting fact about this. I'll tell you about it in a minute, Dan. I'm just going to read out Grant's other comment. Grant says, we had one rugby lesson in primary school, but it got stopped because a girl in my class got injured and parents weren't happy. Okay, fair enough. Bless her cotton socks. I know, it can be quite intense and quite aggressive, but I'm surprised that they did that, to be quite frank. I remember when I was at school, we got to play American football once, and that was just all out carnage. It was just like an excuse for a massive scrap, because we didn't need an excuse to have a scrap, let's put it that way. And there was swinging going off all over the shop. It was great fun. But yeah, it didn't. Let's put it this way: we never ever did it wrong. Ever did it again? We did it once, and that was it. It never happened again. We also played rugby league a couple of times, which was quite interesting. But rugby league isn't really played where I lived. I think there's one team in London, but that happened about 20 years ago. It was an experiment, and I'm not really sure whether the game ever took off in the southeast of England. I don't think it did. It's more of a northern English thing, to be quite frank. Gavin Flaherty, Cove Guna. How you doing, Gavin? I hope you're good, mate. It's a try, unless an Irishman lies down and puts his body in the way. Fair play, mate. Fair play. Right, okay, buddies, let's... what's the time? It's about 7 minutes to kick off. So before we get to kick off, I'm just going to go through the slides. So let me just... going to maximize this screen. The teams are in the tunnel waiting to come out. So let me do that full screen. Take myself off camera. Anyway, so there you can see this is the fixtures for this Six Nations Championship. Yesterday we had Wales against Ireland, which Ireland won quite comfortably. England against Scotland, and for the third year in a row, we went and hammered the English again. So I'm absolutely delighted about that. Italy against France today, which is the game we're going to be looking at. Then next week on Saturday, 2:15, it's Ireland against France. Massive, massive game. I think that game is going to decide who wins the tournament. And I think I think Ireland will win that. I do. And I think they're going to win the whole tournament. Scotland against Wales. I think Scotland will win that one. And then England against Italy. That's going to be the battle for the wooden spoon, in my opinion. I think there's just too much work for England to be competitive. And I think the coach knows that. So I'm not expecting him to pull up any trees this year. Italy against Ireland is in 3 weeks on the 25th of February. Italy against Ireland, 2:15. And then 4:45, you've got Wales against England. And then on the Sunday, you've got France against Scotland. And I can't wait for that. I'm absolutely buzzing. That's going to be great. And then on Saturday, the 11th of March, I believe that is, at 2:15, you've got Italy against Wales. 4:45, you've got England against France. And then the game, the 3 o'clock game on the Sunday is Scotland against Ireland. And then 12:30 on Saturday, the 18th of March, I think that is, got 12:30, Scotland against Italy. 2:45, you've got France against Wales. And the tournament ends with the game between Ireland and England. 5 o'clock kickoff for that one on the Sunday, and I'll be doing a live watch along for that as well. So that'll be interesting. So that's the fixtures. This is the Italian lineup for today, the 1 to 15. Don't ask me to read that out because I'm not doing it. It's just no. Especially if my man Taib's in the chat, he'll just be wetting himself laughing. So that's the Italian lineup. I have to say I don't recognise any of those names, to be honest. And then this is the French lineup. That's interesting. I recognise the captain. They must have some. Yeah, they're obviously a top talented side. Otherwise, they wouldn't be Six Nations champions and number 1 ranked equal side in the world. But there you go. So that's the French. And listen, one last thing to say, right? If you're a rugby player, the number 1 thing to remember is no spillage, lads. And that's why there's a pint of Guinness in the slide. No spillage. And so let's get back on with it. And let's get on to this. Looks like they're singing the national anthem because the Italian fella there on the screen looks like he's crying. So, oh dear, oh Lord. They do get very emotional, don't they? Gavin says, I'm good, thanks, Ron. Still depressed from the Arsenal game, but the rugby helped a little. Exactly. No, it was great win for you lot yesterday. So, yeah, and you absolutely battered them as far as I can see. I haven't seen the highlights yet, but it looks like you absolutely battered them. And then Dan said, I think I've only ever watched one rugby match, which was at Sale. I didn't have a clue what was going on. The crowd cheered, I cheered. The crowd booed, I booed. Won't be going again. Mate, just put the telly on, right, and watch this game while I'm talking about it. It's on ITV1. And I'm sure, first of all, just try to get a feel for the game, right? Because honestly, it is really exciting usually. It's very rare that you get a boring game of rugby. Cove Guna says, Gavin, you might have been celebrating the wrong team. Yeah, exactly. He might have got a few funny looks, that's for sure. And Ahmad Patel says, Ryan, you should do some rugby yourself, mind you. Mate, I used to play. I'm like 55 years old now, man. I'm a bit too old for it. But I used to play back in the day. I used to be a prop forward. So, yeah, and I used to enjoy it. It was good fun. And Carl Walsh Gunners in the chat. The legend is Warren. Nice to see you, Carl. Mate, that video you uploaded yesterday about the Everton game, 100% facts, mate. 100%. And I agreed with absolutely everything you said, buddy. 100% facts. Anyone who's watching this and wants to hear a passionate football fan talking about his team, go and look up this guy, Carl Walsh Gunner, and go and subscribe to him, because this guy, I don't think I've ever seen a more passionate Arsenal fan than this guy. He's an absolute legend of a football fan. And then we've got his sidekick in the chat as well, Del Boy Gunner TV, Evening Warren, and all in the chat. Hi, Del Boy. I hope you're good. Also, guys, there's another one who's an absolute mad Irish Arsenal fan. Please go and subscribe to Del Boy as well. He's an absolute legend of the Arsenal fan base. And he does brilliant stuff. And does match reactions, videos, call-in shows, The whole works. It's absolutely superb. And Dan says, well, I didn't get beaten up, Gavin, as I think I was cheering for the right team, thankfully. Yeah, no, you wouldn't want to get beaten up by a load of rugby fans, that's for sure, mate. Carl Walsh Gunner says, big up, Del Boy. Yeah, 100%. Big up, both of you. And Gavin says, crack Del and Carl. And Ahmed says, Warren, I know you're a rugby top dog. Oh, I hope so, buddy. And the game's kicked off, and Italy have possession of the ball. It's gone to ground. It looks like someone might be getting a good raking in a minute, but there you go. And Italy looks like they got it. Yeah, they got it. He's kicking it forward out of defence, and it's gone into touch. So it'll be a throw-in. I'm not sure that's the right terminology, but I think it's a throw-in for the French. Or no, is it? Let's see what's happening. Yeah, it's a throw-in for the French. They got a really weird away kit, I have to say. Not like it was back in the day. When I was watching them in the 70s, in the early 80s, when I was a kid, they used to have really nice white, blue and red away kit, white shirts, blue shorts and red socks. But now it's like Arsenal-style top, but with white shirt and blue sleeves, and then blue shorts and blue socks. And Italy have intercepted the ball. They're on the run down the wing. Oh, and the fella passed it inside, and his teammate dropped it. Well, dear me, they were away. They could have been in there, but the fella dropped it. Dear, dear, dear. A great break from the French, Italians. They intercepted possession, and off they went. The guy went running down the wing, and then he went to pass it inside, and they would have been in. And the fella fumbled it and dropped it. So there you go. And Gavin says, well, when you say it like that, yeah, exactly. And Carl is in again. He said, big up, Gavin, mate. I hope you're well. That's good. I like to see you guys chatting amongst yourselves. That's good. And oh dear, looks like I've frozen. Looks like I've frozen. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Sky. What the fucking hell? Yeah, it's frozen. Brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Oh, it's back again. Right. Sorry about that, guys. My internet just froze, but we're back on again. Italy are on the attack again. And it's trickled through, and he's kicked him forward, and what's happening? And we've frozen again. What the hell is going on? Cove, Gavin says, all good, cheers, Carl. I hope you're good. And it's gone again. I just don't believe this is absolute bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. The amount of money that I'm paying for this crap. And I can't even rely on it. It's fucking shocking. Absolutely shocking. Oh, it looks like I'm back again. Yeah, so I'm back again. And okay, so we got a scrum. I'm not quite sure what part of the pitch it's in, but there's a scrum anyway. And looks like Italy got the French had to put in, and they're driving forward now. It's come out. The forwards have got the ball, and it's they're driving forward, and it's been kicked forward, but it's been intercepted, and the Italian number 4 is going to score. The Italians have scored. Wow, they've scored a try. And no, is it the Italians? No, it's the French. Sorry, guys, I completely misunderstood what was going on. The French have scored. They're 5-0 up. Tilbard Flament has scored for France, and a great breakaway try there. And I've been telling you about the wrong team, so I thought it was I just assumed that the French would have their away kit on, given they're away. This is fucking insane. I don't understand what the hell's going on here. This is an absolute madness. But the French are 5-0 up, and they've got a chance now to go for the conversion. And I'll tell you about my story in a minute about that. And Gavin says, all good. Cheers, Carl. I hope you're good, bud. And then we've got this. What the hell? I don't know what you've tried to put in here, Ahmed, but it hasn't worked, my friend. Something about a purple crying face. Oh, well, never mind. And Ahmed says, boo-hoo. What the hell are you playing at? How much were your subscriptions? For what, mate? What subscriptions? The subscriptions for my internet, or what you talking about? Taib says, hello, Warren. Hi, Taib. I hope you're good, buddy. And the French got their conversion, so they're now 7-0 up. And Carl Walsh, I'm still fuming, Gavin, since yesterday, mate. Yeah, you're not the only one, buddy. I am too. I'm absolutely fuming. Taib says, my dog can do magic tricks. It's Labracadabra doll. Oh, my God. You're on form today, Taib, I see. And Anurin says, crap performance yesterday. Worst performance of the season by far. Couldn't string two passes together. No movement and defended like clowns. And reminded me of what we've seen last season and back. Yes, mate. Well, you're not going to get an argument out of me about that, Anurin. You're not. This is going to become a common thing this season. It really is. I'm sorry, it will. All they need to do is to be tactically well prepared, and it will cause Arteta a headache because he's not tactically switched on. He's not. And Dan says, I thought you said you've played rugby, Warren. I respect better terminology from you. Okay, mate. I'll try and do a bit better. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so there's a rolling maul now. And the French are driving forward with their rolling maul, but they're getting pushed back again. So they didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to. But they're on the attack again. And I have to say, they look very, very dangerous. Every time they go forward, they look like they're going to score. It's just outside. Looks like they're just outside the 22. They're driving forward. It's pushed back. And they're flinging it around really nicely, actually, I have to say. They're trying to drive through the Italian defence. And yeah. And it looks like they might be in again here in a minute. That looked really nasty. They look like someone got a spear tackle there. You can't be doing that. That's really dangerous. Those of you watching in the UK, you'll be able to see this on ITV1. Brian O'Driscoll is in the studio, a legendary Irish rugby player, captain of the British and Irish Lions on the tour to New Zealand. when he got spear tackled, and he nearly ended his career. It could have killed him, actually, because it is extremely dangerous. Craig AFC 87 winning ugly is vital for winning the Premier League. Yeah, and we got the governor, the main man's team in a few weeks, Mr. Unai Emery, and I'm telling you, he will have that team, the Aston Villa team, primed and ready to go when we play them in a couple of weeks' time. Don't have any worries about that. Grant McRoberts says, I would love to see modern day footballers play rugby against rugby players. Might toughen them up. They wouldn't last 5 minutes, mate. They'd get absolutely destroyed. They would. They wouldn't last 2 minutes. It'd be an absolute shambles. Dan says, I'll catch you all in a bit, Warren. The oven is beeping at me. I'll probably catch you halftime. Okay, bud, go enjoy your lunch and whatever else you're having. I hope you enjoy it. And we'll see you back about halftime. Anurin says, if Man City continue to play at their best, they're winning the league. They've got a better squad than us. They play better football than us. But more importantly, they have their options on the bench. 100%. 100%, mate. I agree with everything you just said there, mate. And what we got here? Gavin says, dangerous tackles. Dangerous tackle, and he shrugged it off. And players fall around for 5 minutes after feeling an arm on their shoulder in football. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they're just absolute pussies compared with these guys. They really are. And there it says, don't get me started on Wales yesterday either. Ireland were ripping through us. They could have scored so much more tries, although we had loads of chances but couldn't score. Mate, I don't know what's going on. I think Warren Gatland, my namesake, is going to take him time to sort that out, but he will, because he's top coach, that fella. Absolutely brilliant coach. But he'll sort it out. Anyway, so what's going on with this rugby? So Ireland have got the ball now. Looks like there's a bit of a ruck there on the ground. They've got the ball. They're trying to break through the French defence. Got no idea why they're playing in their away kit. Should be the other way round. That's what confused me, because I thought the Italians would have their home kit on and the French would have their away kit, but no, it's the other way round. So it looks like the Italians have got a penalty because the French have been penalised for not releasing the ball when they're on the ground, which is illegal. So let's see what happens. See if they manage to get this, because they need to get some points on the board, that's for sure. 13 minutes gone. It's Italy 0, France 7. Please don't forget to hit the like button, lads and ladies. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. I will be doing more content about other sports, hopefully, and other leagues as well. And Italy have got their penalties, long way out, and he's got it. That's it. Italy have got their points on the board. It's 3-7 now, and they'll be happy to see that one go over. That's sure. So it's 7-3 to France, but I actually quite like that kit, that Italian kit. I think it's quite smart. Mind you, you'd always expect the Italians to have something quite... So, oh my word, what an absolute shocking pass. That was absolutely shocking. and the French are in here. They're right on the French goal or the Italian goal line. And has it gone over? I think the referee's looking for it. The French are celebrating. Yeah, it looks like it's been ordered. It's now 12-3. They just need to see if they can get the conversion. Right, the story about the conversion is that the reason that in rugby, when they put the ball over the opposition goal line, is called a try, is because it gives the team and the opportunity to try shooting at the goal. Because if you look at the rugby post, right, it looks like a goal because they've got two big high posts and then one in the middle. Well, I remember when we was at school, we had a rugby pitch, and sometimes they're reviewing the goal, the try, see whether or not he actually managed to get it down. So let's have a look. Did he get it down? I don't think he did. I'm not convinced that he managed to. I dropped it, but I don't think he put it to ground. I don't think. No. I don't think that's a try, mate. No, he disallowed it. No, what did I say? He's disallowed it. So it's 7-3. It's still 7-3. And Italy have got away with that one because that all started with that shocking pass. It was an absolute shit show of a pass from the Italians. Anyway, so what used to happen was that when a team scored a try in rugby, the reason it's called a try is because afterwards you get a conversion, which is where they shoot at the goal. And if they get it between the posts, it gives you another 2 points. And hence why the try is called a try. And it stems from when rugby and football was one sport. Wasn't like that for very long, I have to say, but that's apparently what happened. Whether it's true, I really don't know. But that's what happened. Let's see, where were we? Ireland have the ball. Didn't know we were that good. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm getting a bit delirious, aren't I? No, but I have to say, I do like that Italian shirt. I do. I think it's pretty cool. Mind you, you wouldn't expect them to have anything shabby, would you? You know what Italians are like for being well presented and dressed well and whatnot. It's really important to them. And Nuri says, I think we'll finish either third or fourth. It's not the best squad in the world, particularly the forwards. Ken Owens is about the only one that brings something to the table in lineouts, scrums, etc. Fair play, Anurin. Fair play, buddy. I really don't know because I don't know much about that Welsh team, but I think it's going to take Ron Gatland a while to sort it out because I've heard it's a bit of a mess. You guys were unlucky yesterday. It was a good game, end to end. Can't see you winning it though. My money's on Ireland this year, mate. I don't know. I think the Scotland team is going to really shock a few people. I know I've got an English accent, but I'm about as Scottish as you can find. So I'm quite confident we can give them a good game. Whether we beat them, that is another kettle of fish altogether. It really is. It really is. But I don't think they're going to have it all their own way. Let's put it that way. So they've just thrown out some stats Nothing really surprising there. France are on top in every single department. And I think I have to say, I don't want to upset any English fans, but I think they're going to struggle. I really do. It's one, because they got a new coach, and the coach was talking about having to prepare for the World Cup. And I think, Italy have conceded another try. And there's a bit of chat now between the touch judge and the referee. What's he going to do? He's asked for a TV referee to have a look at it. So it's been reviewed. I'm not sure what's going to happen because I didn't really see what happened there. TMO review, it says. So let's see what that comes back with. So, okay, so the ball's gone right up in the air. The Italian fella tried to catch it and he got taken out by the French winger, by the looks of it. Well, it's fair enough. I mean, if you're going to put yourself in the line of fire like that, you've got to expect to get a bit of a battering. And he went down holding his head, the Italian fella. Oh, Jesus. That was a bit of a battering, I have to say. And then his colleague come in and just touched the ball to the ground. There was a clash between the two of them, and then another French player ran in and just put the ball on the ground. So there was a long move forward, and then the French player collided with the Italian player in midair, and then another French player come in, picked up the ball, and then just put it down on the ground. So I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. I ain't got a clue. I mean, I don't know the rules that well to be able to say, but let's see what happens. So the referee's made a decision. What's he given? It's a try. So France are now 12-3 up. Poor Italian guy. He looks like he's been caught in the headlights. Dear me, poor fella looks absolutely gutted. Well, I'm not surprised. Poor fella. So France are going to try and get the additional 2 points now. And with the conversion, let's see what happens with this. It's quite a distance and it's a bit of an angle as well. I'll be surprised if he gets this. So he launches it. No, he didn't miss it. So I'm not surprised because it was a bit of an angle and the coach don't look too happy though. Oh, Jesus Christ. I would have liked to have seen him try to kick that over. Yeah, mate. So France lead 12-3. 20 minutes gone in the match. And Gavin says he likes the round neck on their kit compared to the rugby collar style. Yeah, the French got a round collar on theirs as well by the looks of it. So, and looks like the Italians have on theirs too. So it looks like it might be a new thing. Anyway, so the Italians have the ball. They're trying to get a rolling maul going. Passed it out. It's been swung across the side of the pitch from one side to the other. He's been brought down, the Italian fella. And they're driving forward again, the Italians. It's now switching over from the left to the right. And he's driving through again. So they're not getting absolutely. I have to say, the Italians aren't getting absolutely battered in this game like I thought they would. Yeah, I thought they'd lose, and they'd probably lose quite heavily, but not really, really badly, like 70, 80 points, something like that. They're doing all right, aren't? And I'm just glad Pivac's no longer in Wales, because it might not have been the best squad in the world, but he was slowly taking us to his level with his tactics, team selections, etc. Fair play, mate. Yeah, it's not been good for you the last few years, has it, mate? It really hasn't. How do you feel about Warren Gatland coming back, though? That's what I want to know. Because I honestly, mate, I think he's a top coach. I've realised I haven't put myself back on the camera. So let's do that. Right, okay, so Anurin's in again, and he's saying, by the way, did you spot Ty in the crowd yesterday about 10 minutes in? No, because I was preparing for this, for the Match Day Live show, so I was listening to it on the radio. So, but I've heard you're not the first person who said that. So, each just scored a try. It's 6-12 now. So, I mean, about halfway through, I guess we are now. And my assessment of it so far would be that France are on top, but they're not really having it all their own way, to be frank. You know, they are the better team. There's no two ways about it. Of course they are. But they're not, like, battering them. Let's put it that way. And the French just charged down an attempted kick forward. And the Italians aren't happy about it. They're complaining. Yeah, so he tried to kick the clearance, and the French fella tried to get to the ball before it went out of touch, but it was unsuccessful. So I don't know what's going to happen now. So it's a try. It's going to be not a try. It's going to be a. What's he going to do? Okay, so he's going to give them a kick. So he launches a long kick forward, lands in the possession of the French. They're pushing forward. Noreen says they probably wanted to see his facial expression whilst thinking back to some of the excuses he used to make, as he hasn't had to make them for a while. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and some of them excuses were just really off key, like about the weather. And that was the classic one, the one he was going on moaning about the rain. No, man, that fella was he's mad. He is really mad, but he sums up, he's typical Arsenal fan online. And he's mild compared with some of the crap that I've seen people coming out with online, I have to say. Remember that fella on AFTV, that Julian, going on about Arteta being the greatest manager ever about 18 months ago? It was just, what are these people smoking? Honestly, really, seriously, come on now. Anyway, so the French have like pounding away at the Italian defence. They're kicking it right out to the wide. And there we go, another French try. So that's going to be 17-6 now. And they're starting to get into the groove and they're getting battered, I'm afraid. 17-6, 26 minutes gone. And they'll be trying to get the conversion that will give them a 9-6 lead. And I have to say, I think that's the game dusted, to be quite frank. It's just a case now of how many the French are going to get. Yeah, so that was a good try. Well worked. Play. Kicked out wide. The fella collected it and just ran around the back of the Italian defence. So there you are. And Anurin says he doesn't seem as though he's all there. It's like it really hurts him to admit any negatives about Arsenal, where Claude found the patience to put with him and do shows with him. I don't know. I don't either, because he used to really wind Claude up. And I think that some of the times I think that Ty was doing it deliberately just to wind him up, so he'd he would get Claude to lose the plot and start kicking off. That's what I think. So yeah, France got their conversion. It's 19-6. Yeah, because you'd see him just slowly, chipping away, and then all of a sudden, Claude would explode. It would explode. Okay, so Italy have the throw-in, whatever you want to call it. So there we go. There's a line out, and the French won the line out on the Italians throw-in. And they've thrown around at the back quite comfortably, to be frank. Yeah, this Italian team ain't all that, is it? It really isn't. So they're pushing forward, and now they kicked it long, and it's back in the possession with the Italians. The poor fella that got taken out over on the far side about 15 minutes ago, he's having another go, bless him, but he needs to be examined, that fella, because he looks all over the shop. Some of these French players, they look absolutely huge geezers. They really do. Mind you, most rugby players are huge. And then it makes me laugh. The French are just laughing. It's like this fella there looks like a larger version of Ollie Giroud, and he's standing there and he's shaking his hips and shaking his shrugging his shoulders and just laughing. So then they're showing absolutely no mercy whatsoever. Anyway, so Italians have launched a long kick. It's gone into touch. And Anuri says, I used to miss the Claude and Ty show, though I must admit, Sorry, Anuri says, I used to miss the Claude and Ty show, though, I must admit. That was when AFTV was at its best. I'd give anything to have those days with AFTV. It's just like yawn, yawn, yawn. Mate, I don't even watch it. I don't think I've watched it for about I haven't watched it for about 2 or 3 years, I don't think. I remember I once made a complaint. I sent in an email complaint to Robbie about DT, and I told Robbie, I said, if you're not careful, that fella is going to destroy AFTV. And I wasn't wrong, was I? I wasn't wrong. Anyway, so 19-6, the Italians have got a line out. On the edge of the French goal line, and they're driving forward. They're really pushing hard to try and get this over the line. They're trying to get a rolling maul going on the Italian goal line, and they've pushed it out to the far side, and the fella's gone over, but the question is, has he managed to get it over? They're all celebrating like he managed to do it, but did he do it? That's the question. And it's the fella that got taken out as well. It's gone for a review. Yeah, I think he did. I think he did get it down. But he's tiny, the fella. He's a tiny, tiny little fella. The Italian 15, number 15. He's probably about 6'2", something like that. But yeah, he's quite pacey, bless him. But he's up against some of these French and he's about 2/3 of their size. So they've got the try, and he's now trying for the conversion, and it's gone well wide of the far post. So it's 11-19. So they're not getting absolutely battered on the points total, but as far as the actual match is concerned, it hasn't really been a contest. It's more like a training match, to be frank. But yeah, though, he did get it over, bless him. So, fair play. They got the try. Capazio was the fella's name who got the try. And Anurin's in again. And Anurin is saying, what is he saying? Gracie May said she once met Ty, Lee Judges, Kalechi, and Dunk Fate, DT at the Emirates during a game and had a photo with them all. Well, fair play to her. That's what she wants to do. There's a few people that I would rather have a photograph with. Let me say. And Gavin says, sorry, Warren, have to run off. Don't know why. I have friends, to be honest. They ruin everything. Have a good show, but cheers for the stream, bud. No, it's an absolute pleasure, mate. I'll be here next Sunday as well to do it. So if you're around and you want to come, you're more than welcome to, mate. You're more than welcome. I'll be here. So I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thels Gantries Nielsen. I show speed. Right. Okay, mate. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I'm not reading it properly. Let me just see if I can get that to full screen and see if I can see your comment properly. I show speed. Hello, mate. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the show. What's your thoughts about the match so far? I think France are, despite the scoreline, I think France are very much in control. They're 19-11 up, but to be fair, they haven't really bothered the French team, in my opinion. But let me know what you think. I'd be interested to hear your opinion. Anurin says, no doubt DT would have completely ignored Gracie and the other three, not been there. Shame, though, because he was actually one of my favourites. First of all, but over time it just became clear he was a wrong one. Exactly, mate. And I felt the same about it. I used to enjoy listening to him. I used to enjoy listening to his observations about the games and about Arsenal and all the rest of it. And then he just the fame that he got because of AFTV and whatnot, I just think it went to his head. And he thought he was some sort of celebrity superstar. He's just a fan, the same as everyone else is. I'm sorry. Just because you go and get yourself on a YouTube channel somewhere, don't mean to say that you're anything special. Sorry. No. Anyway, so Italy are pinned right back on their almost on their own goal line, and they've got possession. There's a long kick forward, and it's gone into touch, and I think it should be a French line out. Is it? Is it going to be? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, to be quite frank. Oh, it was offside. So it looks like Italians have got a penalty, and they're launching another long kick forward, going for touch. The only thing I'm disappointed about with this match is there hasn't been enough swinging. Like usually, like back in the day when I was a lot younger, there'd always be a good few skips in like the middle of the game, but we haven't seen any of that today. Maybe the players are just a bit more disciplined now than what they used to be, but I don't know. That was actually quite funny. That line out, the French guy lifted up and the Italian player waited for him to start coming back down, and then he threw it in. That was funny. That was funny. So total penalties conceded. Italy 2 and France 8. Yes, so that's a bit of a concern for the French team, the amount of penalties they've conceded. But they're still winning. So I'd hazard a guess that when they're analysing this match, they won't be happy about the amount of penalties they've conceded. That's for sure. Anyway, so the Italians are driving forward. They're on the edge of the French goal line, and they're like driving forward. There's a big pack there. They're trying to get through, and the French are defending well in numbers, and the Italians still trying to find a way through. And it's going out, and they've messed it up. They messed it up, the Italians. but they're still in possession of the ball, so that the hope hasn't gone yet. The Italians driving forward in towards the French goal line and still going. Still going, pushing forward. They're pushing forward, really pushing hard now on that French back line. But the French back line, they're holding firm. They're defending really well, I have to say. They really are. The French team really holding out, and it looks like the referee's given a penalty. Is he giving a penalty? What's he doing? Now, if I was the French here and it was a penalty, I'd be trying to get the try. It's right in front of the posts. I think he's going to kick for goal. And next time it goes out of when next time the ball goes dead, that'll be at half time. We played 41 minutes. It's Tommaso Allen. Yeah, he's having a kick at goal. He kicks and it's over. It's 14-19. Well, I have to say, the scoreline suggests it's been a lot closer than it has, in my opinion. So there you go. It's half time. Italy are trailing 19-14 at home to the French, and they're doing okay, but I think the scoreline doesn't really reflect France's domination, because they have been far superior. They have been. But anyway, so let's see what else is going on in the world of sport. So here we go. Forest are 1-0 up against Leeds. Forest took the lead in the 14th minute. Johnson scored. So yeah, Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds United 0. And Manchester City and Spurs team news. Where's this team name? I'm just trying to find this team news they've said it's on here. I can't see any team news. Here we go. So the team news, Tottenham's lineup is they're going with a 3-4-2-1. The team is Laureus. Then they're going with a back three of Romero, Dyer and Davies. 2 wing backs of Emerson Royale and Perisic. And then Højbjerg and Bentancur are the more defensively minded midfield players. And then just ahead of them, they've got Kulusevski and Son Heung-min. And Kane is the lone striker. So Manchester City, they have gone with a 3-2-4-1, and their team is Ederson in goal. We've gone with a back three of Walker, Aguji, and Ake, and then a defensive midfield pairing of Lewis and Rodri, and then an attacking. Where's that gone then? Jesus Christ. I just left it alone and then it just took it off the screen. It's absolute fucking shambles. Right, here we go. So, right, let me start again. Manchester City's team lineup, they've gone with Edison in goal, Walker, Akanji, and Ake as the back three. Then Lewis and Rodri as a anchoring midfield duo. And then they've gone for a forward-thinking midfield four of Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Alvarez, and Grealish, and Haaland as the central striker. So yeah, that's interesting lineup. And James Dunlop's in the chat. He says, "Afternoon, Ron. I hope you're well. Italy, to their credit, are making it a tricky game for France. Yeah, they are. I think France are like way superior, I have to say, but they're not absolutely ripping they're not ripping Italy apart like I thought they might do. But fair play to them. They're making a good fist of it. So you know, I mean, I just feel sorry for that little Italian fella, the number 15. He got absolutely smashed to pieces, the fella. He got up and he went and got himself a try. So fair play to him. The big game between Ireland and France for me is the deciding match who wins Six Nations this year. Mate, I'd have to disagree with you. I think what I've seen today, I think it's going to be Ireland against Scotland, the deciding match. I'm not impressed with the French. If they play like that against Ireland and Scotland, I think they'll get battered, mate. I really do. But there you go. So, how are you feeling about yesterday, James? Have you managed to calm down at all yet? Not that you should do, mate, because that was an absolute blinder. Scotland were terrific against England yesterday, yeah, and mate, I'm still buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing about it. I really am. Particularly doing it to them in their own backyard now. Like, first of all, doing it 2 years ago, then the win at Murrayfield, and then doing it again yesterday at Twickenham. It's absolutely superb. The problem is now they've got to not do what they did like last year and rest on their laurels and really go for it and repeat that level of performance. Was whether they can do it or not. That's the question. My throat is still sore after yesterday. Laugh at that. So you probably sound like Sean Dyche then, mate, when you're talking. Sounded more like Dyche after the game with the shouting in them final 20 minutes. Mate, you lot did really, really well. I'm really happy for you because we were an absolute shit show as far as I can gather. Get in, Forest. Beats 1-0. Yeah, they're 1-0 up. They're 1-0 up. So fair play to them. There was a point in this game between France and Italy that I thought France were going to suddenly put the foot on the accelerator and run away with it, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen, and Italy came back into it. And James says, get in. Forest beat Leeds 1-0. So let's see what's going on there. Yeah, no, it's finished. The game's finished. It ended. Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds 0. So let's have a look at the table. So Forest are up to 13th now, and Leeds level on points with yourselves, and you're below them on goal difference. So let's share that so that people can see it. No, not that. Present, share screen, Chrome tab. Show. Right, there you go. So there's the Premier League table. And there you see Leeds just above Everton on goal difference. Don't be surprised if that doesn't change in the next couple of weeks. How are you feeling about the Merseyside derby, James? You've got Liverpool. I think, is it on Monday you're playing Liverpool? Let's have a look, see if we can see the fixtures. February. Yeah, you've got them on Monday, the 13th of February. You've got Liverpool at Anfield. And I say, the way things are at the moment, I think you're more than capable of going there and turning them over because they're awful. And there's something seriously not right at that club. There really is. Dan says, how's the game? How's the game been so far, Warren? Mate, I'm surprised actually. Italy are they're giving them a bit of a game actually. So stop sharing that, and we'll go back here. Yeah, so they're giving them a good game. And 1914, French are winning. And, there was one point where I thought the French were just going to like steamroller them, and it just didn't happen. And all of a sudden, they got themselves back into it, and they've made a real strong go of it. So fair play to them. Yeah, so I'm really pleased for them, to be honest. So here we go. James says, like I said yesterday to a few people, we played so narrow and made you push out wide, denying any creativity through your attack centrally. And that's a problem for Arteta because he doesn't know how to overcome that. He doesn't. And, I wouldn't be surprised to see if that doesn't happen in the coming weeks with several sides. They'll take the Sean Dyche blueprint and they'll try and implement it as well. So I think Arsenal are going to, Arteta in particular needs to think more carefully about how he deals with situations where he's facing a difficult situation. Sides are trying to frustrate him, and they're trying to. How can I explain it? They're trying to frustrate him and basically do what Sean Dyche did, and because it's happened twice now in a short space of time. It happened against Newcastle at home. When we came up against a team that was tactically well organised and he couldn't figure out how to overcome it. And it's happened again yesterday away at Everton. So he needs to think about how he's going to overcome that, because it's going to become an issue. It really is. James said, yes, it's next Monday. I'm never confident when we play at Anfield. With the way Liverpool have been this season, it should be an interesting game. It will be an interesting game, and I think mate, if I was you, I'd be quite confident going into that game, because I think you could go there and turn them over. It won't be an easy game. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, not by any stretch of the imagination. But I think you've got enough in the locker there to deal with them and turn them over. That's for sure. But it will probably be a 1-0, 1-0 or 0-0 or 1-1 like that. I don't think it'd be a lot of goals, but I think you're more than capable of going and eating them. And Erin says, my mum and dad and sister were at Eddie Butler's memorial the other day. My mum and dad used to do a lot of work with him behind the scenes on different programs. My sister was lucky to meet him as well. Well, fair play to him. I hope that was a good day for all involved, and that it went well, and he got a good send off and all the rest of it. Yeah, very sad news about that. I only heard about that I think yesterday, and yeah, I was shocked, I have to say. And Erin says, my dad was also at Phil Bennett's funeral when he died. He interviewed him quite a bit as well. Well, fair play. And Erin says, my dad is a guy called Graham Thomas. Used to present Scrum 5 interviews, different football managers now and again in press conferences, usually Cardiff and Swansea. Mate, I remember back in the day, like whenever Cardiff and Swansea played each other, it was an absolute nightmare. And I remember going to see Maidstone United play Cardiff City over in Dartford when Maidstone were playing their home games at Dartford, and the Cardiff fans, right, they hijacked their own coach, and they set light to a petrol station. Jesus Christ. Why would you set light to a bloody petrol station? That has to be of all the mad things, that has to be the maddest. Setting light to a fucking petrol station. And they burnt their bloody coach out, and there's no way to get back home again. So the police had to take them home or something, or some madness like that. But I remember a few times hearing from a mate of mine, and he told me that there was a few occasions when, Cardiff played Swansea, and there were more police at the game than there were fans, because it was just an absolute nightmare. And Cardiff are my other team. I go and watch them with my BAMP. What's a BAMP, mate? Sorry, I'm sorry for my ignorance, but I'm not quite sure what that is. But fair play. They're very, very passionate fans, that's for sure. The ones that I saw the day I went to see him play with Mason, I never had any issues with them. They were just really excitable and loud and boisterous. That's all. And I don't think the police really knew how to deal with them. So, but yeah, It's an interesting day. Let's put it that way. And Anurin says grandfather, just a unique name for it. Oh, okay, fair enough. Oh, fair play to him. So, was he a Cardiff fan as well? Because if he was, he may have. Would he have been at the Arsenal Cardiff Cup final when Cardiff beat Arsenal in the FA Cup final and took the FA Cup to Wales? I can't remember what year it was, but it would have been the early 1930s or 1929, something like that. And Craig AFC 87. Warren, apparently Beyonce will be. I saw you put that in a few people's chats over the weekend, mate. It's absolute quality. I absolutely love it. Warren, apparently Beyonce will be using Tottenham's trophy cabinet as a changing room, as it's the biggest empty space in the stadium. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, dear. Craig, you're an absolute legend, mate. Unai fucking Emery. That's who. Anyway, back to this rugby. And Italy had possession of the ball well inside their own half. Italians just dropped it and they're on the edge of their own 22 and they're struggling to clear the ball. And it's gone out for looks like a French line out. It's going to be a French line out, I think. Yeah, they were really struggling there to clear the lines, that's for sure. The fella Bruno did quite well, the number 14 for Italy. So anyway, so there's a line out and French line out. They had possession of the ball and they drove forward. It's gone out to the left and they're pushing forward, still moving the ball. And they look a bit more aggressive so far in this half. I know we've only been playing a few minutes, but they do. And the French number 14's got it. He's passed it inside. It's out on the left side, right on the far left side of the field now. And French driving forward, trying to break through the Italian defence, and referee, I think he's given a penalty. Yeah, I think he's given awarded Italy a penalty. Yeah, he has. No, it's a French penalty, sorry. It's quite far out, but I don't think he'll have much difficulty getting this over if he kicks the goal, that is. And Anurin says no, he stopped going for years and then started going back again in 2013. Okay, fair enough. But he must know a lot about the history of the club, though, I'm sure. Craig AFC 87. What do you call a pony with a sore throat? A little horse. Exactly. Fucking brilliant, mate. Oh, I love it. Anyway, so Italy with a penalty here. And it's a long kick. And it's over. And that's another 3 points for Italy. 22-14 now they lead. Anurin says South Wales derbies are always rowdy with fans. There was this one Cardiff YouTuber Lee Gunner used to have beef with that by all accounts was banned for fighting. You may have seen him at the time. No, I don't. I probably may have done, but I don't remember it. I was more I was more focused on trying to sort of look up, make sure that I didn't get an absolute pasting off them, to be honest. But you know, like I say, I was there at the ground really early, and there was me and another fella outside the ground. I was just trying to make sure that I didn't get an absolute kicking off them. Um, but yeah, they weren't that bothered about me. Only me and another fella. So they were just happy having a chat, and they were really nice fellas as well. Um, I don't know about this fella that used to. I don't remember Lee Gunner having beef with a fella. Maybe I wasn't watching him at the time, but anyway. And then it says, and yeah, my grandfather knows a bit. I'm sure he does, mate. If he's been around at that time, I'm sure he knows plenty. Aliens are on the attack, and French have the ball. Don't know what's going on. Okay, so it's just a Italian penalty. They kicked it long. It's gone back into the fellow that got absolutely wasted by the French winger, and they're pushing forward again. I'm surprised to see that fella back on the pitch, to be quite honest, because he got absolutely decimated. Irwin says Brownie from football. Brownie from football with Brownie. No, I don't remember it, mate. Is he still on YouTube? So I might have to go and look him up, because that would be quite interesting, hearing him talking. It sure would. Because I remember once, I don't know where I was, but there was a couple of coach loads of Welsh fellas turned up. I don't know where they were from. I have a feeling they were from Cardiff. No word of a lie. Every single one of them was absolutely fucking huge. They were absolutely huge, these fellas. Like there were two coach loads of them. So there must have been about 120 of these fellas. And if any of them were less than about 13 or 14 stone, I would have been shocked. I was. They weren't because they were like, you know, overweight or anything like that. No, they were really like, what's the word? They were really muscular, and there weren't any fat on them. No, they were just fucking massive geezers. Like really well built, muscular fellas. Look like rugby players, to be honest. Funnily enough, seeing as we're talking about rugby. Anyway, the Italians have a line out on the edge of the French goal line, and they're driving forward. They're getting a rolling maul going, the Italians. Driving forward, they're trying to get the ball up, and it's just short of the goal line by the looks of it. And they're still going. Balls come out. The Italians have still got possession of it, and way got a bit heated there. That's what we want to see. A bit of a heated confrontation. And the touch judge and the referee are having a little discussion. And he's asking for the video referee. So it's going for a TMO review. Yeah, that looked a bit intense, I have to say. There is no way that is anywhere near over the line. It's a good 2 or 3 foot away from the goal line. So the referee, it looks like he's talking to someone in the office or something. And he's given someone a yellow card, and what's he going to do next? Charles Olivion, I think he's going in the sin bin. And some of the Italian fans in the crowd are getting a bit excited. Anurian says, no, by all accounts, he's now in prison for drug running. Oh, my God. But he made about hundreds of videos slagging Lee off, as well as millions of other YouTubers. Laugh out loud. yeah, bless him, Lee. He's not a popular fella, is he? Let's put it that way. Well, not a popular with some of these clowns on YouTube, that's sure. There's a lot of people that don't like him. It's not for everyone, but I do rate him. I think he's quality. But yeah, he's in prison for drug running. Jesus. Anyway, so the French have the ball on the edge of the Italian goal line, and they've just had a line out, and they're trying to drive forward, and it's been held up by the Italians really well. They've defended quite well, to be fair to them. A lot better than I thought they would. And the Italians got possession of the ball. They tried to get it to touch, but it didn't succeed. And what's going on now? So the French still have it, and they're moving it from left to right. And pushing it out wide. It's gone over to the far side. And Italians have won it back. And 53's gone, and it's Italy 21, France 22. Wow, really close. And Italy have the ball in their own goal area. It's not a great performance by the French at all, I have to say. And I think if they continue playing like this through the tournament, there's no way they're going to regain their title. It's just not going to happen, because I personally think they've been poor today. They have been poor. And Anurian says he's not popular with Arsenal fans because of his opinions, but this guy apparently messaged him asking if he messaged him asking him if he wanted to meet up with him when he first moved to Spain. Okay. I think I've seen that. I think I saw a video where this guy was going into Lee because he said that he tried to help him when he moved to Spain, and Lee just blanked him or something. Anyway, so the Italians have the ball back in their own area, goal area, and they kicked it out. It's gone into touch. Um, and there's the fella. He's sitting there in the sin bin. Um, he don't look happy, I have to say. Anyway, no, but he wouldn't, would he, being in the sin bin, that's for sure. Anyway, so the French had their line out and they've got the ball and they're trying to get a driving maul going, and it's sort of being held up really well by the Italians. And here we go again. They're driving, the forwards are driving through the heart of the Italian defence. And what's the referee doing now? Defended really well there by the Italians. And it's gone out into touch. It's a long kick forward by the Italians. They're not having they're having a really frustrating afternoon. The French, and it wouldn't surprise me. You know, I know it sounds a bit off key, but I wouldn't be surprised if Italy actually didn't win this game. Anyway, so the French have won possession of the line out, and they tried forward, and it's not really worked for them. They tried that a few times this afternoon, and it hasn't really worked. So Lee said no. So this guy then threw his toys out of the pram, making videos about him, basically nitpicking his every move. Big mistake. Big mistake. And in reality, he was no doubt trying to recruit him into his drug gang he's meant to have been part of. It's not confirmed to be true, yet, although he's been off YouTube, social media, etc., for months. Well, there you go. There you go. So there you go. It sounds like he looks like France have got a penalty. So it sounds like his nefarious activities have caught up with him then, by the sounds of it. So it's a really dodgy fella, if you ask me. So it's a really long kick. I've been very surprised to get that over from there. That's a huge distance. So he launches it and he goes just wide. He just goes to the left of the post. So yeah, he didn't get it over. So it remains Italy 21, France 22. So Italy get the game restarted. They launch a long kick into French territory, and the Italians have possession of the ball, and they're moving forward. But they went to ground, and the Italians regained possession. So here we go. Here we go. So what's going on? This game's very, very stop-start. It hasn't really flowed very well today. This game has been stop-start, stop-start. And it's one of the worst games of rugby I think I've seen for a long time. So the Italians launch a long kick forward and it's gone into touch. Turnovers conceded 9 by the French and 7 by the Italians. So what we got here? What's going on? Okay, so it's a line out. The Italians have the throw. They won their line out and they've got possession of the ball. And They're trying to move the ball, but the French have intercepted it. And so there we go. French kick it clear and it's gone into touch. It's a bit of a kicking match, actually, to be honest. And a fumble pass there from the Italians that allowed the French to regain possession. It's about 20 minutes left to play. And the Italians have a line out. See what happens with this line out. So they got the line out and they're driving forward. They're pushing forward and they're breaking through the French lines. They got to tell me they think they can win this by the looks of it. And the Italian winger's broken free. He's running past the defender and he's in the clear. And what's happening? Looks like he's been pulled back. Yeah, he's been pulled back. He was running away and clear, and then he gets pulled back. Now, if that was me, I'd be really, really pissed off. And your man who was in the sin bin, he came back onto the field of play. And there's a penalty just to the right of the posts for the Italians. If they get this over, they're going to take the lead. And Aaron says you might have seen him on Daniel Bailey's channel when he first started. But yeah, going back to Cardiff v Swansea fans, it's so rowdy and chaotic. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it sounds an absolute nightmare, mate. Some of the stories I've heard are just absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so there you go. France have conceded the penalty. Italy have a 2-point lead now. It's Italy 24, France 22, and this will be absolutely disastrous for the French. Absolutely disastrous. They went 2022, they were unbeaten for months and months and months, and now they're facing down the barrel of a defeat to the Italians. Who would have thought it? Before the game started, people were saying that it was going to be an absolute mauling. It was just a case of how many points the would get. Instead of that, we've now got a situation where the Italians are 2 points in the lead. My God, what an absolute unbelievable turn of events. It really is. Could this game be like 2013 all over again? I can't really remember that one, mate. You'll have to remind me. Mine ain't what it should be, to be quite frank. But listen, going back, my mate is a Norwich fan. He bumped into a bunch of Swansea fans at Waterloo, and he had his scarf nicked. They run off with his scarf. Okay, so it looks like someone else has got a penalty now. So this lead may be short-lived. Maybe the France will go back in the lead again. But it looks like it's going to be a scrum. Yeah, it's going to be a scrum. Italy won 4 scrums. France won only 1. What's going on there? What's he doing? It's been very strict about the scrum, that's for sure. He's trying to get the scrums to reset. That poor number 15, he looks like he's recovered a bit now, but he took an absolute pasting earlier. What the hell's going on? The bloody scrum. The ball never even got put in the scrum. What the fuck is that about? That is an absolute shambles. So the Italians went round the back, had the ball, they were about to put it in, and then the fella just ran round the back of the scrum, and just that was it. It never happened. It's unbelievable. So here we go. Anyway, the Italians are on the attack. And they're moving the ball quite well. They just every now, whenever they do a position, they tend to fumble it quite a bit. I've seen that happen a few times today. Yeah, like there, for example. So they look like they were in there, and the French managed to get it clear. Dan says this is quite a good game. Just been watching it on TV. I have respect for the ref. How can he see fouls when they're all pile into each other? Is crazy. Yeah, mate, it is. So fair play to him. But I dare say their players are giving him damn sight more respect than what the football players do, that's for sure. So anyway, the French have a line out. They're trying to get a rolling maul going. It hasn't worked all afternoon. I don't understand why they keep persisting trying to do that, because it hasn't worked all afternoon. So I don't understand why I think it's suddenly going to start working. Oh dear. Dan says, well, it ain't hard to have more respect than footy refs. Well, there you go. I forgot about the fact that you were a referee, mate. Yeah, I dare say that you get your fair share of jip, that's for sure. So Italy still 24-22 up. There's 14 minutes left to play, and the French are still persisting trying to get this rolling maul going. And okay, now they put the ball out into play. They're driving forward, trying to get themselves over the line, pushing it along the line, and they're in here. Here we go. That's it. They've broken through, and they've got a try. So they now 3 in the lead. It's France 27, Italy 24, and they've now got to go and try and get the conversion to get the 5-point lead. If they can win this game, it'll be a massive bloody relief to them. But they have been very, very, very poor today, let me say. Very poor. No, I'm sorry, but they're not good enough. They're not going to win. If they win the Six Nations, it will be an absolute. It will be. It will be an absolute state of affairs. because I can't see how they're gonna do better than Ireland and Scotland in this tournament. I just can't see it happening because they've been awful. If they play, they'd have to improve dramatically because they've been terrible today. There you go. The conversion has been scored. So the 29-24 in front now. 68 minutes gone. 12 minutes left to play. So there we have it. So Italy from the kickoff launched a kick deep into the Italian half, and someone talking about the Italians launched a deep kick into the French half, and the French got possession and then kicked it to touch. And looks like the Italians are bringing on a few substitutes. There's 4 of them coming on by the looks of it. Yeah, so a few substitutions there, Italians. And they played fairly okay. I wouldn't say they've been great, but they didn't roll over and what have you, but they haven't been great themselves. I mean, fumbling possession, fumbling passes. That line out just now is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So no, this has been a very, very poor game of rugby, I have to say. Not this has been shocking in my opinion. Not good at all. I think both of these teams, if they continue playing like this, they're going to take a few spankings. Let's put it like that. I mean, I have to say I admire the spirit of the Italians because they've really given it a good go. But French team, geez, they've got issues. They need to sit down and sort out this mess because it's been terrible. They're not going to make any sort of impact in this unless they shape up. And Dan says, I wonder why the person who sat down to write the rules decided let's make a try 5. Like, why not 2? And then a kick is 1. Okay, now it changed a good few years ago now. It used to be 4. Used to be 4 points for a try, and I think it was 4 points for a try, 2 for a conversion, and 3 for a penalty. Then they changed it, so it'd be 5 for a try, 2 for a conversion, and 3 for a penalty. So yeah, I really don't know. Obviously, the conversion has to be less than the try, but yeah, I can't answer that. I really don't. But I know that when years ago, the reason it's called a try is because it gave the team who got the ball over the opposition goal line the opportunity to have a kick at the opponent's goal. So that's why it was called a try. But yeah, anyway, so we've got a penalty now. The Italians have a penalty. It looks quite way out. I think it's just inside the French half. I think it's definitely doable. That's for sure. And the fella's just about to take it. He needs to get this, really. And it's straight. And did it go over? I think it went over, but I just think it missed the posts. I think it went just to the right of the post. Yeah, it did. It didn't go through the posts. So the French have it. Kicking the ball long, deep into Italian territory, and they're running the ball forward. It hasn't been really the most free-flowing exhibition of rugby, that's for sure. Not at any point today, I have to say. It's getting a bit heated there. And that little scrap for the ball. A few fellas got cleaned out. France, long kick forward into French territory. Sorry, into Italian. Getting mixed with the team. Sorry, guys. So the Italians have possession deep inside their own half. And the French have back possession of the ball. They launch a long kick forward. And the referee stopped it again. And he's in consultation. No, he's not. I thought he was going to be in consultation with the touch judge, but no. So what's happening? Okay, so Stephen Varney's come on. It's an ITA. It's a replacement for Alessandro Fusco. Alessandro Fusco comes on, and just over 5 minutes to go, people. So, right, Dan has made an interesting comment. He says, so this group stage or a knockout match? Right, it's just it's a league of 6 countries. They play each other once, and they have 3 home games, 3 away games, and then the team with the most points wins the group and the tournament. So it's just, there's no knockout, no nothing. It's just a league. And it's a league of 6 countries: England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Italy, and France. So that's it. That's how it works. You get points for a win, points for a draw, no points for a defeat. You get bonus points. You get a bonus point if you score more than a certain amount of tries. And then, like, points difference for margins of victory. Sorry, there's a thing like goal difference, which is basically points difference comes into play as well if teams are level in the league, things like that. So the Grand Slam is when sides win every single game that they play in that 6-team league. And then the Triple Crown is when one of the home countries beat all the other home countries. There is a Calcutta Cup, which is a cup which is played for between England and Scotland. Scotland have now won that cup 3 years in a row, which I think is a record for them. So Anyway, the Italians driving forward. The referee is giving I think he's giving a penalty, but I'm not sure. So France have conceded 9 turnovers and Italy have conceded 11. It's just over 2.5 minutes left to play, and France lead by 29.4. And they've just had a line out, and they've conceded possession on the line out. Their line out state has been absolutely shocking. Anyway, so and the Italians trying to do a quick tactical maneuver which didn't work. Tried to quickly break down the wing, but unfortunately for them, it didn't work. So Italy have a line out, and they manage possession of the ball. They're trying to get a rolling maul going, but as with the French, it hasn't really worked all day. And they still got possession of the ball, but it's been held up by the French. And the Italians are moving the ball from right to left, and they're breaking down through the right-hand side, but the French regain possession. And what's going on here? What's the referee doing? He's indicating something, but what? I've got no idea. I think he may have just given a penalty. So what's he going to do? It looks like the Italian fella, the one who got wiped out, saying, "Come on, lads, this is our territory, our ground. We need to perform." So it's just about 30 seconds left to play. See what's he going to do. So he's gone for a long kick forward and it's gone into touch. So it looks like he's trying to go for a line out, and hopefully they can get a try off the line out. This is really starting to get tense now. And here we go. So they've got a line out, the Italians, and they're sort of midway into French territory. They're driving forward with the ball. It's to the right-hand side, and it's moving back inside again. What are they going to do? Pushing forward. Right, so normal time is up. Next time it goes out, that'll be it. There'll be the game over. So what is he doing that for? Okay, so the Italians have a line out. I thought it was going to be dead. But they've still got time left on the clock. But how? I'm not really sure. But still, there you go. Pushing forward. Right on the edge of the goal line. And the referee has brought the game to a close. And the French have won by 5 points, 29-24. The Italians put up a good fight, but I have to say the quality of this game is shocking. Absolutely shocking. So Italy lose by 29-24 to Italy in their own to France in their own backyard. But fair play to them, they did try. But that's that. And let's see. Yeah, so the news from White Hart Lane so far is Tottenham 1, Manchester City 0. 21 minutes gone there. Harry Kane scores after 15 minutes. And Dan says, great stream, as always, Warren, and was a nice change from football. Catch you later. Thank you very much, Dan. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I just thought I'd give it a go, see how it went. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I will do another one next Sunday for the Sunday game. I can't do the Saturday games because they're right smack bang in the middle of when I'm doing my Saturday Matchday Live show. But yeah, I'm happy to do the Sunday one. So there we go. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of the day. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks very much for tuning in and watching. Have a great rest of your day. Like I say, please look after all your family, your friends, and your loved ones. And remember to share some love and kindness around the world. And I look forward to seeing you all again really soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.